Have you ever had one of those moments where everything just clicks into place and you think, why didn't I see this coming? Like the signs were there all along, scattered throughout your life, like breadcrumbs leading to something bigger, but you were too caught up in the chaos to notice them. Well, here's something that's going to shift your entire perspective. The universe has been preparing you for your next breakthrough longer than you realize. And those weird coincidences, those random encounters, those sudden urges to change direction, they weren't random at all. Right now, as you're watching this video, there's a good chance you're in that space between chapters. You know what I'm talking about. That uncomfortable place where your old life doesn't fit anymore, but your new life hasn't fully emerged yet. You might be feeling restless, like you're supposed to be doing something different, but you can't quite put your finger on what that is. Or maybe you've been getting the same message from different sources, the same book recommendations, the same conversations coming up over and over again. Pay attention to that feeling, because what I'm about to share with you is going to make everything make sense. The universe operates on a frequency you can't hear with your ears, but your soul has been tuning into it this whole time. And when you're on the verge of a major breakthrough, that frequency gets stronger, clearer, more impossible to ignore. Let me tell you what nobody talks about when it comes to recognizing these signs. Most people are waiting for some dramatic moment, some burning bush experience that makes it crystal clear they're about to level up. But that's not how it works. The universe whispers before it shouts. It sends subtle signals before it sends obvious ones. And if you know how to read these signals, you can prepare yourself for what's coming instead of being caught off guard by your own transformation. Here's the first sign that your breakthrough is closer than you think. You start losing interest in things that used to occupy your time. Not gradually, but suddenly. That show you used to binge watch feels boring. Those conversations you used to enjoy feel shallow. Those activities you used to do without thinking twice about them suddenly feel like they're draining your energy instead of filling you up. This isn't depression, though it might feel similar. This is your consciousness expanding. Your soul is making room for something bigger by clearing out what no longer serves your highest good. It's like when you're about to move to a new house and you start getting rid of stuff you don't want to take with you. Your inner self is doing the same thing, decluttering your interests, your habits, your social circles to make space for the version of yourself that's about to emerge. Most people fight this process. They try to force themselves to care about things they've outgrown. They guilt themselves for not wanting to do the things they used to love. But this resistance only delays the breakthrough. When you notice this happening, don't panic. Don't try to go backwards. Trust that this emptying out is actually a filling up of something much more aligned with who you're becoming. The second sign is even more interesting. You start having conversations with strangers that feel weirdly significant. The person next to you on the plane mentions exactly the book you've been thinking about reading. The barista at your coffee shop randomly brings up a topic that's been on your mind for weeks. A complete stranger gives you advice about something you didn't even realize you needed guidance on. These aren't coincidences. These are confirmations. The universe is using other people to deliver messages directly to you. And here's what's wild about this. The people delivering these messages often have no idea they're doing it. They're just living their lives, having normal conversations. But somehow the exact words you need to hear are coming out of their mouths at the exact moment you need to hear them. This happens because when you're approaching a breakthrough, your awareness becomes more sensitive. You start picking up on the subtle connections between everything. You realize that the whole world is having a conversation and you're finally tuned into the right frequency to participate in it. Pay attention to these random encounters. Write them down. Look for patterns in what people are telling you, because these messages are breadcrumbs leading you toward your next level. The third sign is something that makes most people uncomfortable, but it's actually the most reliable indicator that major change is coming. You start questioning everything about your current situation, your job, your relationships, your living situation, your daily routine. Things that felt stable and secure suddenly feel suffocating. You find yourself asking questions you've never asked before. Is this really what I want? Am I living someone else's life? What would I do if I wasn't afraid? This isn't a quarter-life crisis or a midlife crisis. This is a consciousness crisis, and it's exactly what needs to happen before you can break through to the next version of yourself. Your soul is showing you the gap between where you are and where you could be. It's highlighting everything that's out of alignment so you can make different choices. But here's where most people get stuck. They think they need to have all the answers before they make any moves. They want a complete roadmap of their new life before they're willing to question their old one. That's not how breakthroughs work. Breakthroughs require you to step into the unknown while you're still figuring out what the known is supposed to look like. The fourth sign is probably the most encouraging one, but also the most overlooked. You start receiving resources, opportunities, and information without actively seeking them. Job opportunities land in your inbox. People offer to help you with projects you haven't even started yet. You stumble across articles, videos, courses that seem like they were created specifically for your current situation. This is the universe responding to the shift in your energy. When you're genuinely ready for change, when you've moved past wanting it and into actually being open to it, you become magnetic to everything you need for your breakthrough. But here's the key. You have to be willing to receive these gifts without overthinking them. Most people dismiss these opportunities because they seem too good to be true, or they don't fit into their logical plan of how things are supposed to unfold. They're waiting for the perfect opportunity that makes complete sense, but breakthrough moments rarely make sense until you're looking back at them. The universe doesn't operate according to your timeline or your idea of how things should happen. When these resources start showing up, don't analyze them to death. Don't spend weeks trying to figure out if they're the right fit or if you're ready for them. Your readiness isn't determined by how prepared you feel. It's determined by your willingness to act despite not feeling prepared. The universe is testing your commitment to your own growth by seeing if you'll take action when the path reveals itself, even if it's not the path you expected. The fifth sign is something that happens in your sleep, and most people completely ignore it because they think dreams are just random brain activity. But when you're on the verge of a breakthrough, your dreams become more vivid, more symbolic, more memorable. You start having dreams about flying, about discovering new rooms in familiar places, about meeting versions of yourself you've never seen before. Your subconscious mind is processing the transformation that's happening at a level deeper than your conscious awareness can track. These dreams are showing you possibilities, preparing you for changes, helping you integrate new aspects of yourself before they fully emerge in your waking life. Start paying attention to your dreams. Keep a journal by your bed. Write down what you remember as soon as you wake up, because these nighttime visions are actually previews of coming attractions. The sixth sign happens in your body, not your mind. You start feeling restless in ways you can't explain. Not anxious restless, but excited restless. Like there's energy building up inside you that needs to be expressed somehow. You might find yourself pacing more, moving differently, changing your posture, even changing how you dress or style your hair. This physical restlessness is your body preparing for a new frequency of existence. Your cells are literally vibrating at a different rate as you align with the version of yourself that's emerging. Some people experience this as difficulty sleeping, not because they're worried about anything, but because their system is too activated to settle into old patterns of rest. Others feel it as sudden bursts of energy that make them want to clean their entire house, rearrange their furniture routines, don, or start new exercise. Try to suppress this energy. Channel it into activities that support your transformation. Move your body in new ways. Create something with your hands. Express yourself through art, music, writing, dancing. This restless energy is creative energy that's been dormant in your system, and it's finally ready to come alive. The seventh sign is perhaps the most profound, but also the most subtle. You start noticing that time feels different, not slower or faster necessarily, but more fluid. You'll look at the clock and be surprised by what time it is, not because you lost track of time, but because linear time stopped feeling like the only reality. You start having moments where past, present, and future seem to collapse into a single point of awareness. You remember childhood experiences with startling clarity. You have flashes of knowing about future events. You feel deeply connected to ancestors you've never met and descendants you'll never see. This isn't confusion or disorientation. This is your consciousness expanding beyond the limitations of sequential time. When this happens, you're accessing what mystics call eternal time, the dimension where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Your breakthrough isn't just something that's going to happen to you in the future. It's something that already exists in this eternal moment, and you're finally becoming aligned enough to step into it. The eighth and final sign is the one that lets you know your breakthrough is imminent. Not months away, but days or weeks away. You stop seeking. Not because you've given up, but because you've found what you were looking for inside yourself. You stop scrolling endlessly through social media looking for inspiration. You stop asking other people what you should do with your life. You stop searching for the perfect mentor, the perfect course, the perfect opportunity to finally change everything. This isn't complacency. This is completion of the preparation phase. You've gathered everything you need. You've learned everything you need to learn. You've healed everything you need to heal. Now you're just being fully present with who you've become through this process of getting ready. And in that stillness, in that sense of completion, the breakthrough reveals itself, not as something you have to chase or earn or figure out, but as something that emerges naturally from who you've become. Like a flower that suddenly pushing through the soil when's been growing underground all winter. The conditions are exactly right. So if you're recognizing yourself in these signs, if something inside you has been nodding along with recognition as we've gone through this together, then you already know what I know. You're not just watching this video by accident. You're here because your breakthrough is closer than you think. Those signs aren't just interesting observations about human consciousness. They're your personal roadmap to what's coming next. The universe has been preparing you for this moment longer than you realize. Every loss that taught you resilience, every disappointment that redirected your path, every moment of confusion that forced you to trust something deeper than logic. All of it has been building toward this breakthrough that's already beginning to unfold. You don't have to figure out how to make it happen. You don't have to force it or rush it or prove you're worthy of it. Your job is simply to stay awake, to keep noticing, to trust the process that's been guiding you all along. The signs are getting stronger because you're getting closer. Your breakthrough isn't just about achieving some external goal or reaching some destination you've been dreaming about. It's about becoming fully yourself, finally stepping into the version of you that's been waiting patiently for you to catch up. The universe is conspiring in your favor. The signs are everywhere. Your moment is coming, and when it arrives, you'll look back and realize it was inevitable all along.